Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Tuesday, November 5th, 2013. Well, market affecting announcements on tap for today is 10 o'clock with the ISM non-manufacturing index. And that's about it. Been seeing some rumors about tapering from the Fed, but still nothing solid. Looking across the oceans, over in Asia, we're seeing kind of a mixed bag as they are closed or closing. Nothing real, solidly negative or positive, except for maybe the Sensex. That's kind of over 1% is a pretty big number for a move on an index or an exchange index for a day. And in Europe, decidedly negative and fairly solidly negative over there. Let's jump over to the US. And here we're seeing about the same, less than 0.5% negative at this time. Gold is at 1311 still, playing with that 1300 level, and oil is still below 95, which are, two fairly good things as far as I'm concerned. Our VIX trade is sitting here doing nothing because there just is not any volatility in the market right now. Yesterday was a boring day. If you were watching the market, it would have been very easy to take a nap and wake up and not see much of a difference. But we had some alerts go off, and I'll show you what went off here. We had CELG, Master, and Chipotle all trigger yesterday. So let's take a look at CELG first. Here it is. I did enter with a 145 bull put on this. Believe it was, I can't see it here. Yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see it. Let's pull it over here. Now I'll be able to see it. This is when I entered right here on this candle. A little bit later in the day, got maybe a little bit better price at this particular level. I believe the delta was around 25 or something like that at that time. So that's where I got in on that, hoping that this resistance line that I have drawn here from over here on the weeklies, and I extended it a little bit further over here, hoping that that line does hold. Now, just because I drew that line doesn't mean that it's going to hold or means that I'm wrong. It's just a line, and it just may act as support, as it did back here. It actually dropped below it and then came back above it. That was this particular week right here on the weekly. So we got in on CELG. Also, we had a trigger on MasterCard. So let's take a look at MasterCard. I took a pass on that. And if we look at the intraday, you can see why I took a pass on it. Did nothing but pull back the rest of the day. So no entry on MasterCard. And lastly was Chipotle. And I believe it looked, well, Chipotle just took off, and I was not happy with what I was seeing there. And I was thinking about going into next week, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to wait another day or two. If I'm going to go next week, I'm probably going to wait until Thursday. So we're looking here. Next week is normal expiration. So I could get into it now. You can see what I was going for here when I was taking a look at it. And I like to get, if I'm going to risk $500, I want to make 50 cents at least. So I can keep a 10 to 1 risk reward. I don't want to go any further out than that. So I'm looking for 50 cents, and well, here it's 25, but at the time I believe it was maybe in the 30s or so. And what delta are we looking at here with this 520? Yeah, the delta is all the way down to 12 now as it took off. So at 525, maybe if I would have just kept it up, that's right on the borderline. If you can get 47, I'd probably put the order in with a limit of 50 and see if it wiggles around and I can catch that price. But, you know, there's not a whole, we're looking at open interest here, and November, and there's not a huge amount of open interest on Chipotle, which makes it not very liquid and makes it a little difficult to get those midpoint prices like the one that's quoted here. This is midpoint between the bid and ask of the spread. So it's difficult to get it, and I'll tell you that I put a limit order in at the midpoint yesterday on SPX for my weekly trade, and it wouldn't go. Of course, it was 10 minutes before the market close, and you know the price was at 60 cents is where I had it, and it just would not cooperate. So that's it. And here's the CELG order and here's my SPX order, 60 limit. Even though the midpoint was at 60, it's hard to get midpoint on SPX, which is why it's a little funky to trade that, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And I didn't look at rolling gold yesterday, and I didn't do any comparisons, but I will tell you what I did do that I promised that I would do. Let's go over the charts here, and remember when I was mentioning that sometimes you can get sometimes TF leads the rest of the market as far as action is concerned. So I thought I would just do a comparison chart, and the way that you do it here is I right-click right on the chart, and I go to Studies, and Quick Study or Add Study or either one of these, Edit Studies, any one of these two here will give you a compare with, and then I went up to Custom Symbol because I wanted to put in TF, which is the future. So here it is. The magenta or purple line or whatever you want to call it here is the comparison line, and that's TF. And as you drag your cursor along here, it'll tell you actually what the value is. But if you look at what's happening here, it just it follows the market, basically. It might be a little bit more volatile in its price, but it pretty much follows the S&P 500, which and what do I have here? I have weekly, and it's going all the way back to 2010. So I was a little bit surprised by this. So just as an example, you can see that these moves comparatively, if I was to do this chart as a percentage, I forget how to do that. Let's see here, style, intraday settings. I know that there's a way to do it, but I got stuff in the way here. Let's see. Chart mode, chart type. I know that there's a way to do percentage. I'm just not able to find it right now, and I don't want to waste any time on this video. So if you were to do it as a percentage, you may see bigger percentage moves on the TF than you do on the ES. For instance, here, the percentage is a little bit larger there. So if you're looking for something that is maybe a little bit more volatile, TF is the one to look at, or the Russell, RUT. But it doesn't have all the neat stuff that SPX does. So anyway, that's that. So here we are with our account, and now we're ready to jump in to the A+ list. And we'll do our scan for today. Oh, we want to look at the Priceline calendar, which I closed yesterday and pretend closed. So I closed it at 370. So right now it's at 139 profit. So I actually made, in theory, pretend anyway, 150 bucks on that yesterday. I think I was in the afternoon, 3:30 or so. I was surprised at how much it had pumped up in price, but here's the reason why. Remember when we were looking at the IV on the short option, it was around 90. Now it's down to 73, and that moved the white line up a little bit, so that gave me my profit. So in theory, I closed it. So that's probably enough about this Priceline calendar at this time, but we'll just, if I remember, we'll take a look at it the rest of the week as Priceline moves closer to earnings on Thursday, I think it is, 11/7 after the market. Okay, right now we can move to the A+ list. First up is Apple. We got a little hook here on Apple, so I'm putting an alert on it, even though a lot of stocks didn't look too good yesterday. Apple closed very strong here, so I like that. So I'm putting an alert here. All right, moving right along. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon, a little bit of pullback coming down to our target here. Wait for that. BIDU. Currently an uptrend. We got a PPS down. Down. BIDU's not looking very good. Let's just for fun take a look at next week's expiration for a bear call. And we would be at the 165 level, which would be up here. Has not been able to stay above that. That would be kind of a risky trade. I'm not liking that a whole heck of a lot. What might do, though, is a calendar down here at 150. And what would that look like? That would be a put calendar. That's at the right at the moving average, at least for today. And do a calendar on that, and we'll lock that price in for right now. Take a look at our risk profile, and that would be a nice 1 to 3 risk reward if it ends up at 150. Otherwise, you're blowing $100. That's not bad at all. I kind of like that. Let's see if there's any other reasons here to go with that 150 level. Actually, 141 or 140 is a big resistance line, which could end up being support, but I just don't know how far out that might happen. 140 is way down here. Did not look real good yesterday at all. Did not have a good day. So I still might do this. I like this. I'm liking that. So that's only $100, and that's not bad at all. All right, let's take a look at CELG. We got our hook here, so we're in there, in on that. CF Industries. All right, we got earnings here. What do we do? 384, 407 actual. Congratulations, CF Industries. I don't know what you're, what you're thinking about the future, what you said about it. Apparently, it's okay with everybody. So that's good. I'm happy for him. But not seeing anything. Need it to settle down a little bit after earnings and establish which direction it's going to be going. Chipotle still looking very good. I'm going to put another alert on it and maybe do something into next week. A little bit longer than normal, but sometimes we have to just make some minor adjustments to our strategy. All right, Google. Google's not doing anything here, and we're waiting for it to establish a trend. As far as I'm concerned, looking at this price action, there's no trend at this time. And if we look at, sorry for switching around so fast here, but if we look at momentum, momentum is coming out of it right now. So not a good directional candidate at this time. Goldman Sachs, also not a good directional candidate. We did get a hook here on it. So looks like we got some momentum coming in all across the board here. So I think that we might have a possibility here. So I'm putting an alert. And I have 3 alerts now, so I will stop with alerts at 5. I don't want to have my phone going crazy on me. All right, we might have a trend reversal going on here. We have momentum coming out, or at least moving negative. Negative momentum is negative momentum in price action. And we drop below the 0 line, that means that momentum is to the downside. So I'm going to set a target up here on this one. Let's see if we can hit it. And just slide it over a little bit. It may take it a little bit longer to develop. There. So we'll be looking for a bear call on LinkedIn. MasterCard. Not looking real good right now. This target, well, I'm going to leave it there for right now. I'm going to leave it there. We're just so mixed up here. But there's a lot of momentum to the upside. Still positive momentum. It's flattening out here and maybe moving back up again. And it is up around 10. That's pretty high. So I'm just going to leave that target in there. And I want it to move up today if at all possible. And we'll check it later. Netflix. All right, we're getting some very, very strong signals here. All right, so we're throwing an alert on this one. Okay, price line. We got earnings, so we're just going to skip that. Tesla, I think we have earnings coming up on that one too. Yeah, so Tesla, earnings, zero estimate. Well, yeah, that's sort of acting as support, isn't it? Let's just keep an eye on that, not touching it. And last for our weekly trades is Visa. Did not have a very good day yesterday. I'm not liking this at all. I am taking this target out. We have momentum leaving. We could do an early bear call on that. So let's throw an alert in on here. Do one for this week. Maybe at the money. A 1-to-1 if we can get one at or below. Okay, we have our 5 for today, and if I was to do something on SPX for this week, we have a PPS up. Should wait another day, and that's what I think I'm going to do. So just forget about this one, and I'll probably take a pass on doing anything this week on SPX again. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks a heap for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.